Welcome to Trainer Sculpt. My name is Jared Hines. This is Trainer Tips in under 10 minutes. The 3 C's for CPTs, the first steps to growing properly online. All of these tactics, these tricks, these tips, these are things that I wish that we would have learned, by we, my wife and myself, that we would have learned and applied earlier in our career over 10 years ago. That would have helped accelerate us and get us on the right foot, helping us to avoid the trial and error. And now I packaged it up. I'm letting you see it. So let's get right into this. So you got the 3 C's, but first, before you understand the 3 C's, you need to be able to see one thing. And this one thing is that there is a mountain here. And this mountain represents your journey. Your journey is so important to this entire process so that you can actually get started on the right foot as you begin your climb in your journey. If you do not do this, you will not succeed online. We live in a world full of information, and in that world full of information, there's so much confusion, there's so much jargon, there's so many people pulling every person every which way. However, to the person who understands that this mountain, that this journey that they're on, to the one who can actively identify it, they will stand out, and then everyone else will come surround them. Why? Because they want to be a part of the journey too. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Make sure that you stick around to the end of this video. I'm going to rocket fire through these, give you exactly what you came for, and let's get right on into it. So the very first kind is the confused personal trainer. The confused personal trainer is really representative of a squirt gun. These trainers get very few people. They take anyone at any time, and their big problem is burnout, lack of consistency, and the clock. They are bound by time, bound by a schedule. I used to be this kind of trainer, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it was absolutely awful. I was constantly looking for clients, constantly trying to stay on top of things, and I had a really hard time doing it. And then there were many times that I just didn't want to show up. I didn't want to stay late. And maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about also, right? Now, this trainer typically says, oh, I can make that. So what do? They try to solve a problem for everyone, when the reality of it is, in doing that, that's what ends up causing the burnout, the lack of consistency, and, well, the lack of not wanting to show up, right? So this personal trainer, their biggest problem is that they'll accept anyone who just walks through the doors, anyone who calls into the business or calls into the gym and says, hey, I want a personal trainer consultation. They'll go ahead and take anyone, and then run into missed payments, run into maybe they're not the type of client it is that they want to go and really work with, and then it ends up causing headaches down the road. Have you ever had this? If you've had this, go ahead and drop this in the comments. The second type of trainer is the concise trainer. Concision is the fastest, most easiest method of explaining something, right? Now, this trainer I like to compare to a shotgun. They get up to many. So this means that they can still get a very low amount of people, but they can escalate a little bit and get a little bit more people than your typical personal trainer. The first level of the mountain, as you can see right here, is representing the confused trainer. They're at the base of the mountain. You're at the base of your mountain. You can have a lot of people here that you can easily go and squirt with a squirt gun, but because there's so much confusion, well, there's going to be a lot of headache. There's going to be the after effect of an avalanche coming down and crushing you, all right? The second level right here, this entire level represents the concise trainer. Notice how the concise trainer can still be borderline close with the confused trainer. However, they can also be borderline with the top level trainer, in which I'll get to here in just a few moments. And because they're higher, they have the ability to reach more people. Maybe their persuasion skills or their communication skills, or maybe they've been doing it for a while. It's really developed, and for the most part, it works. However, they are somewhat still bound by the clock, bound by the consistency factor, and they're also bound by burnout, as I've personally experienced. This person typically says, I help blank, do blank, or I help women or men or whoever it may be, ages 20 to 30. Whatever it is, fill in the blank. You probably have heard this maybe in yourself, maybe with other trainers, maybe with another supposed guru that's out there, right? I know I for sure as heck have. And they wonder why can't they break to the next level? Like, why can't things just flow a little bit better? And the concise trainer often lacks a more in-depth and detailed system. And you need to understand and realize, hey, okay, if you are a concise trainer, then where are you in your journey, in your mountain? Are you closer to the confused side? Or are you closer to the top part, in which we'll get to here in just a few moments? The problem with the shotgun trainer is that they're limited to close range. Kind of like a shotgun, it has shotgun shells, right? And they expand. It's a shotgun, it's a wide net that they're able to boom. But the thing is that they have to get close, which represents maybe being in person a lot, maybe being required a lot of. Does that make sense? All right. Now, the last C is clear and called. Now, this represents the top part of your mountain, of your journey. This represents a sniper rifle. These trainers know exactly who it is that they work with, but more specifically, they know what type of problem they solve for these people. And then they focus on just solving the problem. They don't necessarily say, okay, it's for women 40 through age 60. They don't really get too in depth with that, but they know just by default, it's probably going to fit in that category. But the thing that they're super clear, really prevalent to them, there we go, that's a good word, is what problem do they solve? And they're able to solve it so well because that problem is something that they've gone through themselves, that they can show people how to come from confused. They can bring their people to a point of concision. Then they can bring their people to the top of the mountain with them and give them the greatest, most possible, incredible result that those people could ever ask for. The problem that a lot of snipers have, you can choose to be a sniper right now. If you choose to solve one person's problem, mainly it reflects back to you. Bring that solution to the exact person that it solves. You do that, you'll gain crystal clarity, but then you'll also step into who you are called to serve. And I'll get into that in another video. However, I mean, you might have asked, okay, how do I find this crystal clarity? How do I find these people who I'm called to serve? Well, quickly, number one, list all your credentials. Write them down on a piece of paper. Number two, write down what general area do you specialize in. It could be sports, it could be fitness. Then I want you to write down, what do you love to do? What is a hobby of yours? What is something that you love to do outside of fitness, outside of training? I'm gonna give you that as a really good first step starting point. Answer those two questions, combine them together, and you'll be looking at almost a mirror reflection, and you'll be able to see who you're called to serve based off of where you're at in your mountain, in your journey. Anyways, that being said, hopefully you found this video insightful. If you did, drop the like button, comment below, be sure to subscribe. And I guess with that being said, see you on the next episode. Peace.